Welcome to the U.S. latest news channel. Watch the video to the end to find out the current and breaking news about the Russian war in Ukraine. The head of the people who want to launch this special program is the name of the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, Dmytro Kubela. Diplomat Dmytro made some verbal statements to the press about this program. Dmytro Kubela, who is the head of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, raised this issue in a statement to Reuters, the most famous news agency in the world. Minister of Management of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine Dmytro Kubela showed that he is committed to this issue, he told Reuters. Dmytro Kubela, the head of the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry, told Reuters that he proposed a program in which Russian soldiers who lay down their arms would be rewarded with a new life. This program reports that Russian soldiers who do not want to fight against Ukraine will be offered the opportunity to start a new life if they lay down their arms. Although he shared some details of the program he mentioned with the press, he did not share any information about where this program would start. In an oral statement given to Reuters by Foreign Minister Kubela before meeting with European Union ministers, he used the following sentence stating that the time for measures has passed, the time for half of the measures has passed. After this statement, he asked the ministers of the European Union to go further, and then Kubela said the following words: "Only a tough and consistent policy can give results." Dmytro Kubela used the following statements in the call message in question: "Save yourself and go. Put down your weapons, surrender to the Ukrainian forces, and seize the opportunity to start a new life." Diplomat Dmytro Kubela said that as a result of any Russian soldier laying down arms, the lives of Ukrainian citizens will be saved, which means that a step forward in peace will be taken. Minister Kubela, who made these statements, stressed how important it is for the Ukrainian people that even one Russian soldier lays down his arms. "I am sure that this offer is worth making, because even if a Russian soldier decides to lay down arms and leave the country, this means saving the life of Ukraine and closer peace," Diplomat Kubela said. Judging by his statements, it seems that the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry is in favor of peace. Kubela's high probability of making the offer and his confident speech were publicly reflected as an event in favor of the Ukrainian people and peacemakers. No final decision was reported to the press after the program proposals. After Minister Kubela spoke about the program, he raised the issue about restrictions on the entry of Russian citizens into the countries of the European Union. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine has again put the issue on the agenda of the European Union ministers, which it had previously mentioned. After his statements, Minister Kubela also addressed the European Union again and again, raised the issue of banning the issuance of visas to Russian citizens. European Union ministers are expected to agree in principle on suspending the visa facilitation agreement with Moscow. In this case, it means that the visa periods that Russian citizens need to get in order to travel to countries that are the European Union will be extended, and they will have to give more money. But the issue of a direct European Union travel ban on Russian citizens has not been clarified. Although some explanations have been made by authorized persons, there is no official explanation about any entry ban. A visa ban on Russian tourists and some other categories would be an appropriate response to Russia's genocidal war of aggression in the heart of Europe, supported by the overwhelming majority of Russian citizens, Kubela said in a statement emailed to Reuters, said. For Dmytro Kubela, this incident is a precautionary measure because the majority of citizens of the Russian Federation are against Ukraine. Russia's war of genocidal aggression, he supported it. Minister Kubela predicted that in this case, Russian citizens should not enter European countries as a precaution on behalf of the European Union. After Ukraine made its views clear, eyes were turned to the European Union. So what does the European Union think about this desire and foresight of Ukraine? The countries of the European Union have not reached a joint decision on this issue. While the Eastern and Scandinavian countries support the visa ban, Germany and France are not with the Ukrainian state on this issue, saying that the Russian people should have open access to the West. The French foreign minister, who made a statement on this issue, said in a statement that it is important to distinguish between decapitators of war and Russian citizens, artists, students. We must maintain our ties with them. Estonia, Finland, Lithuania, Latvia, and Poland have written a joint statement asking the European Commission to propose measures to decisively reduce the flow of Russian citizens into the European Union and the Schengen area, the Financial Times said. The countries supporting the proposal are demanding the introduction of an EU-wide ban on the entry of Russian citizens into EU countries, citing the fact that it is a matter of national security. European Union officials stressed that this issue is sensitive and stated that they will take a careful attitude not to spoil relations between societies, after stating that this war is the war of Russian President Vladimir Putin. For this reason, they do not decry the punishment of all Russian people. It was observed that the European Union countries could not decipher a common decision among themselves, and there was no clear explanation to the press bodies about the visa ban. According to the document signed by Russian President Putin, the personnel of the Russian armed forces will increase in 2023. The document signed by Russian President Putin will enter into force in 2023. Considering the previous decree of the document signed by Russian President Putin dated November 17, 2017, the current increase of the newly signed decree will cover only military personnel. According to the signed document, the size of the Russian armed forces will be increased by 137,000 people and will reach 1,150 million soldiers. The total personnel of the armed forces of the Russian Federation was determined at the level of 2.039 million people. The head of the British Ministry of Defence, Ben Wallace, stated that there were more than 80,000 military personnel and Russian losses during the invasion of Ukraine. These total losses in Ukraine include the decimated and wounded, as well as the fugitives. There is no official statement explaining exactly which illegal groups have become ineffective. The collapse of the Soviet Union left all the former Soviet republics with a deep economic crisis. Belarus has made its own path during this period. The president of the country for 30 years, Alexander Lukashenko, determined the country's market by choosing the path of market socialism instead of adopting free market capitalism. Administrative controls on prices and exchange rates were shaped according to this market. Looking at other Soviet countries, we can say that Belarus, which was part of the former Soviet Union, has a relatively developed industrial base. With the dissolution of the USSR, Belarus managed to preserve this industrial base. We can also decry it among the countries with the highest standard of living among the former republics of the Soviet Union. The country also keeps its industry alive with its developed agricultural bases. While the Russian war in Ukraine is in full swing, Russia continues to benefit from the industry of its ally Belarus. The Belarusian authorities have been known for their closeness to Russia since the beginning of the war. Nowadays, when hot conflicts are at the highest level, Belarus is on the side of Russia both militarily, economically, and humanely. The fact that Belarus is on the Russian side during this war, in which many Western states support Ukraine, gives a great advantage on behalf of the Russian front. With the cooling of the weather, Belarus did not delay in supporting Russia, which was left alone with the problem of winter uniforms. The Belarusian authorities have communicated that they can sew winter uniforms for the Russian army. In addition, the Belarusian government announced that Russia will also help with the supply of equipment. This news was shared with the public by Motolko Pomogi. The news was announced on Motolko Pomogi Belarusian Telegram channel. According to the information we have obtained, it is known that Belarus is a country that is widely sought after in foreign Sundays in the spinning industry. In addition, the textile business in the country is also quite developed. Belarusian garment factories also received a huge amount of orders for winter clothes around the world. In addition, among the information obtained is the receipt of a sleeping bag and fabric order. December. There are many factories in various cities of Belarus, of which the Kalinka factory in the city of Sologorsk has already received its first order for sewing winter uniforms. Belarus conveyed that these uniforms were designed entirely for the Russian army. Belarus also keeps this production, which it also performs for Russia, separate from the Belarusian Sunday. A company called Magatox, located in Mogilev, a city of the Republic of Belarus, has announced that it will start producing fabrics in accordance with the needs of the Russian army. Again, this fabric production will not be aimed at the Belarusian Sunday. There are factories for ready-made clothing in the city of Gomel, located in the southeast of Belarus. Among the information obtained is that these factories are ready to sew sleeping bags for the Russian army and have received orders. December. Again, a factory already located in the city of Brest, located on the border with Poland, has begun preparations for sewing 30,000 sets of military uniforms. Let's also note that the figures mentioned are not fully confirmed. According to information from various sources, it is claimed that Russian uniforms are tactically excellent in use. Special fabrics are used so that soldiers can get away with minimal damage and explosions, especially considering that Russia is suitable for severe winter conditions. The ability of soldiers to move decently during the conflict, easy concealment are among the issues that are paid attention to. Belarus keeps these uniforms separate from its own. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video to be informed of the developments at the speed of light.